By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
Hello everyone, this is Caleb Shattuck with the Paranormal Burrito, and That's Not Fair, the game show podcast, and you're listening to 20TIMinutes. Hope you enjoy.
I hope you do enjoy episode 33 of 20TIMinutes. Hello, I am your host, Tim McCarthy. This is my podcast that focuses on mental health through humor, insight, and personal stories. That introduction was by the great Caleb of the Paranormal Burrito. They're an interview podcast where they discuss ghost stories, old places, odd places, and just spooky stuff that's going around. Caleb was one of the first people I met on Twitter when it came to meeting other podcasters. He is great. I was supposed to be on his podcast, but it didn't sync up. And hopefully we can do that soon. So Caleb, thank you for that introduction. And if you have some time, go check out the Paranormal Burrito. Yes, that's the Paranormal Burrito. Great name, even better intro song. Go check them out. Hopefully everyone's doing great today. It is hot, hence I'm wearing a tank top if you're watching this, and I have a pretty good pimple that is trying to bust through my nose. Let me tell you, it looks great in high definition. If you haven't yet, I'm going to start doing live viewings of my episodes. So if you go to my Buy Me a Coffee account, subscribe for a year or pay monthly, it's like $2 a month. It's nothing crazy. And then I'm going to start recording live episodes so you can see all the fun I have live where I don't get anything in order the whole time I'm recording. So it's pretty cool. And then I can chat with you at the same time. And then this week I have Tony Grebmeyer as my interview. If you listen to the one with Kiiara Parrish, we brought him up. She was the one that introduced me to Tony G. He is phenomenal. I had such a blast talking with him. He's a CEO, entrepreneur, author, and podcast of the Be Fulfilled podcast, which I got to be on, and I was so fulfilled and had so much fun on his podcast. He's just like he was like down and out really bad. Now he owns like a $40 million business. He legit called me the other day and left me a message just to see how I was doing and told me he loved me. Like the connections I'm making on these podcasts are fucking awesome. Like good people. I was on like Twitter Spaces, and it's so like positive. So on Twitter, they have like the spaces where you can do like a group voice chat, and we go in there and just kind of talk about what's going on and how we can improve and stuff. But the community is so great, and people like Kiiara, Tony G, Pixie from Next on Stage 1, Ja from Decent Takes podcast I worked with, they all like helped me. And I was like, where I'm from, everyone's kind of a fucking asshole. So I'm not used to people being nice. So I'm trying to pay that forward. So anytime someone asks me for help with the podcast, or ask me to be on their show or whatever, I'll definitely take the time out. Plus, I got nothing really going on, as you know. So yeah, if you need help with anything, let me know. I'll gladly help if I know what I'm talking about. Again, I'm not a licensed therapist or professional in I'm not a professional anything. I can't, like, if I had to be a professional in something, just a guy that talks into a mic, professional mic talker. I'm not even that, actually. I don't even know how to do the settings yet. I kind of just plug and play. But I'm still having like those incidents where people hit me up, and I got to make sure to tell them, I'm like pretty adamant. I'm like, hey, I'm dumb. Don't know a lot of things. I barely know what the name of my medication is, which I'll go into that. And I just had someone message me not too long ago, and they were like picking my brain. They were asking me if I could help. And I was like, well, I can try to listen, but if I don't relate, I can't really give you any advice that's any good because I am not a licensed therapist or anything. So it kind of gets a little bit frustrating from my end because I do want to help, but I can't do a lot, especially if you get frustrated or something. I don't know. It's super odd for people to come to me for stuff like that. I love talking with people that get it, that just want to vent or just want to compare or just want to just have a conversation. I will do that all the time. But when people come to me for like answers, I can't give you that. Like legally, I can't. And I wouldn't anyway, because I'm not that type of person. And I've told you guys multiple times about like these Instagram accounts and these TikTok accounts that like say, they're like, oh, if you have ADHD, do this. It's like, yeah, that might work for you, but it might not work for somebody else. I'm bipolar too. Someone else might be bipolar too. And we don't have the same meds. We might have the same meds, but we don't have the same life. So everyone's different in that regards. And I'm not a big fan of those types of accounts. especially when they give you like non-scientific facts. It's like no, you don't know, okay? So I try to stay away from that. I just like to try to be more positive with people and give them like funny memes instead of like a to-do list of how to be better. I think to be better is just being more open, talking about your problems with friends, therapists. That's what we have to try to do, right? That's what I'm doing. I'm just talking into a mic. Hopefully people will have fun and gain something from it, because I'm trying to gain something from all this. But yeah, so it's really good to have a connection with people to chat with and be open with, which I like, especially on Twitter. Twitter is the place to be to make friends. So yeah, I got in some new meds because I have, I'm going to say it now before I forget, hydroxyzine. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. It's an antihistamine. Don't know how to spell that either. Don't even know what that means. I think that's for like Benadryl type shit, antihistamines. I don't know. This is why you shouldn't ask me anything. So I'm on this anxiety meds. I've been super anxious lately, like super anxious. Obviously, we all have our personal things going on in our lives. I only divulge into some of that, but having like really bad anxiety sucks. Like it just like your muscles are tense, but your body's just like just like melting all over the place. And I just feel like I need everything done. I need answers right away. Like if I don't, like, I just hate it. I just hate that feeling of like anxiety. And I know we all like kind of feel it at times, but mine's been getting worse. I was even like thinking about my sleep schedule. I have not been sleeping good whatsoever, but I've been feeling okay. I just sleep when I sleep. I listen to my body, which I haven't been eating well. I haven't been drinking enough water. And those are the types of things that you should be doing. Like, I know that. Those are like, not everyone can drink water. Everyone should be like eating healthy. Like that is well known. I think there was one person that was allergic to water from like one of the old school TV shows, like Ricky Lake, or what was the redheaded lady's name? I want to say Reba, but it's not. I remember seeing that as a kid. Someone was allergic to water. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Or like Unsolved Mysteries. I don't know if anyone remembers this. I know you remember Unsolved Mysteries, but there was one where the kid went into the closet, or like a brother or a babysitter, and the parents came home and he wasn't in there. Like, where did he go? I know it's an unsolved mystery, but I don't believe it. Like, that's just like the Twilight Zone. That's not a real episode. That did not happen. Like, what happened? A monster came in? Or did he just dissolve? Did he Alex Mack it and turn into liquid and leave? Because he got locked in a closet? I don't know. That stuff freaks me out. I don't like that. But the new anxiety meds make me super drowsy. I took it like on a whim. I'm like, all right, maybe this will work. And then like 30 minutes later, I was like, I need to survive this because I'm going to pass out. Thank Christ for rumble strips, huh? That was another thing I had a debate with. Were rumble strips created for people falling asleep, or was it created to slow down in the breakdown lane? Like someone was like, oh yeah, people falling asleep, let's make these rumble strips. I thought it was for like, if it snowed or was icy, the rumble strips would like kind of make you go slower. What do you think? Sleepy or stoppy? Sleepy or stoppy rumble strips? Let me know. And it's funny too, when you take these medications, they say don't operate heavy machinery. And I think everyone thinks this, and cars are the last thing we think of when we think of heavy machinery. I know some people think of like a forklift. I think of like a trash compactor. I think of like so many different things, like the thing that people in Comcast and the internet like go in and they have like the little bucket and they go upstairs and they work on the wires. That's heavy machinery. Cars, they're just cars. I think we can all operate one. But yeah, I shouldn't operate heavy machinery. So it's like, can I take my meds at work? Like, when's if I take them at work? How am I going to get home? Like, I'm just staying here, guys. I can't operate heavy machinery. This little bottle told me to. How many laws do we break? Like, not like laws, but like how many like rules do we break? Don't operate heavy machinery. You're like, okay, pal. It's like the terms and service when you update your iPhone. You're like, yeah, okay. I'm going to read this. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't happen. I was talking with my good friend Craig recently, and he brought up the call of the void. This is another thing I never knew the name of, like the Alice in Wonderland syndrome I covered on the most recent episode, which I can't believe people haven't had that feeling. I don't get. I stumped my therapist with that. She had to look it up. I'm talking to her this week. She's going to come back and get some more information from me. So I thought that was kind of interesting that she didn't even know. She was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I go, I don't either. Listen to the show. You might find out some stuff. But the call of the void, it's that feeling when you stand in like a high place and think about jumping, but you don't actually want to or don't actually do it. It's a feeling more people have had than they like to admit. Have you had that feeling where you're like, you have like a knife and you're like, what if I just stabbed myself? But it's not like a suicidal thing. I think of that all the time. I'm actually scared of sharp knives. Like if I pick one up, I just feel like it's going to fling in the air and like stab me in the neck for no reason. Knives freak me out. I think knives freak me out more than guns. And I'm not even a big gun guy. I got my license, but I wouldn't buy one. Like, what do I do with this? What am I going to do? Probably bad things with it. That's why I don't get it. But the call of the void, have you felt that? I think that might be in the same senses of like, what if I just drove my car off the road right now? I think it's more of the, for me, it's more of like the, like say like you're having a conversation with somebody you don't really like and they're telling like a terrible story and in your head you're like, what if I just punched him right in the mouth? Is it? No, has anyone else had that thought before? Like doing outlandish shit to somebody, like somebody like telling a story and you're like, what if I just went up to this guy and pantsed him, like took his pants down? I do that shit all the time, like the Doctor Strange, like different outcomes. Do you think alternate realities are real? I don't know what to believe in anymore. I'm like looking into astrology lately. I think the one thing someone said to me about astrology that made sense was like, well, our bodies are made up like of so much water and the moons. I was like, yeah, the moon does fuck up water. So I was like, that does make sense. Sometimes people will say things to me and I'm like, it opens up like a part of my brain. I'm like, yeah, that is weird. But yeah, call the void. Let me know if you've been on that. I don't like, dude, those Russians, the Russians that are on the roof and they don't use like any rappels and they're like jumping over buildings and shit, like parkouring, and they like hold on with like just their pinky like it's a goddamn cartoon. I don't know. They're built different, those Russians. I could not do that. I do not like heights really. Like I'll go on a roller coaster because I feel safe. And if something happens, like whatever, Final Destination 25, like I'll deal with that. But I'm not gonna like go skydiving or be in a hot air balloon, which I don't know how those work either. How do hot air balloons work? How do you direct them? How do you stop them? How are they going in the air? How do you get them down? What happens? I don't know. There's no engine. Like, are they safer than blimps? I've seen a blimp crash, right? I've seen that photo of the blimp, right? How many casualties are in a hot air balloon accident? Fuck hot air balloons. I would never get into one. It just reminds me of that episode of Family Matters when Urkel goes in there and he keeps like pulling it and Carl's just having none of it. And they're up there and Carl's not having a good time. But spoiler alert, they get down. Spoiler. That's going to be my new noise for spoilers. I got some really cool interviews coming up. I booked 2 wrestlers, okay? 2 pro wrestlers. You know me. Straps are on the line. Big wrestling fan here. I'm not going to turn this into a wrestling podcast. In the interview I've already had with one of the wrestlers, I interviewed him like, you guys don't listen or watch wrestling, okay? So I don't make it about me, but I do at the end because it's wrestling. One of them is from Ring of Honor legend, and the other one is from the WWF Attitude. Actually, you know what? I don't want to put my eggs in the basket yet. I already interviewed one. I'm waiting on the other one, but I'm very confident that it's going to happen because that person is a real great person. WWF Attitude Era mid-Carter. Try to figure it out. I'm so pumped. But again, I have like all these interviews like ready to go until August. I've been getting so motivated lately to like edit them ahead of time so I don't have to worry about it because it's like 95 today and I'm in the cat closet rocking a tank top right to bare arms. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm so excited for all these interviews. I haven't had one bad interview and I don't see them ever being bad ever again because I get the best guests. It's one thing I can tip my hat to. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You guys gotta hit me up sometimes. You gotta go to 20TIMinutes. Send me some questions so I can review them. Haven't been getting a lot of those lately. I think with the summer months, it's tough to be more involved on like the internet and podcasting. I saw a huge dip in my numbers, but it's like the weather's nice. Like I don't listen to podcasts. Like I get it. I listen to the same 9 songs every day and pretend I'm in a music video every day. I gotta do more. Okay. But I think with the nice weather, it's like no one's going to a party. It's like, yo, let's put on episode 28 of 20TIMinutes. Let's bump this shit. And I'm just a 20-minute podcast. Like the interviews are just bonus content. I've actually been like not dodging people, but I haven't been answering phones or texts as much from like some of the guests I've had, like friends, like Joe Barksdale has been hitting me up, and like Lindsay Martin that I did an interview with, and I just like don't reply. And I was like honest with them too. After a couple of days, I was like, hey, I'm not like dodging you guys. I'm like, I'm just not like mentally okay, which I'm not afraid of to say, because I do have those days. I've had them recently. I'm just like, I don't want to do anything today. So that's why I was proud of myself to get a lot of these interviews ready, because I know I've been kind of down in the dumps and moseying around. I went outside today to go do some yard work, and it was so hot, just way too hot. All right. I don't even know what weeds, man. What's up with weeds? Can we get rid of weeds? Like, just get rid of them. Why do they grow? Why do some of them look good? Why a 3-leaf and 4-leaf clover is weeds? I didn't know that. Oh, I saved a bunny. There was a baby bunny outside, and I was like weed whacking, and it hopped, and I was like, oh, what was that? I was looking for it, and I couldn't find it, because I guess rabbits live in the ground. Did not know that. This thing was a baby. It wasn't like a newborn, but it was a little guy. I could pick him up with like 2 fingers. So he was shaking, and my dogs have killed 2 groundhogs before. So there's no way I was letting a bunny die on my watch. So I go over it and pet it a little bit, make sure he knows I'm cool. So then I pick it up, because I don't know if these things bite. Anything with a mouth can bite you, except for daddy long legs. But I picked it up, and I went to the other side of the fence. Then I put him down, because I felt like he was shaking too much. I don't want to give him a heart attack. But then I picked him up again. I'm like, dude, you're not going to get mauled on my watch. So I opened up the gate to the other side of the fence. I put him down, still shaking. So I close it, and then I start walking away, bombs it. And I was like, I'm a hero, dude. Enrique Iglesias, let me be your hero. Foo Fighters, hero. Good jams. But that was cool. Seeing a baby rabbit. Supposedly, if you touch a baby rabbit, the mother like gives up on it. I don't believe in that. That's an old tale that I don't believe. Okay, don't tell me that. You know, like not gerbils. Is it gerbils or hamsters? Hamsters aren't like a real animal. Someone was like, yeah, they're like engineered by like scientists. I'm like, they are. Like, you don't see them out in the wild. Like, what's that about? I have a lot of questions. Know what I have a question of? And this, I get embarrassed by asking some of these questions, but I feel like someone has to ask them. And I'm the guy, like I said, I'm the guy in high school that they're like, no stupid questions. I go, okay, let's see. So I was at the store getting a sub, because I was running late for work, and I was standing next to a guy, and he was blind. I don't know if he was fully blind or a little bit blind. He had his mask on, which I'll explain in a second. But sometimes I'm like, just want to be like, hey, how's your day going? But how do I start a conversation with someone that's blind, that's like near me? Like, I'm like, hey, how are you? But when's if he doesn't think I'm talking to him? And then I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm talking to you. And he's like, what? And like, I didn't want to touch him because he had his mask on. I don't know if he's like a germaphobe. And like, I just like striking up conversations with other people. Like, he's just another person that just happens to be blind, that I wanted to see how his day was going. But I was like so self-conscious that I was going to like swing and miss. And like, people would be like, why is this asshole trying to talk to this blind guy? So like, that's how my anxiety is right now. Like, I just want to talk to somebody, but I'm too nervous to talk to them because they're a little bit different. So how would you talk to like, some people would just like, we'll just say something and then something might happen. And I was like, yeah, that's how things work. Something may happen, but I don't know if it will. I just wanted to be nice. I just wanted to see how he was doing. Not because he was blind. It was a guy sitting there waiting for his sub as long as I was. And I want to be like, hey, these workers, huh? And he'd be like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know. That's the type of shit I'm going with. The funny thing about my interviews coming up, I do this shit where like, I feel like Chris Farley from those SNL skits where he's like, you remember that time that you did that thing? That was awesome. Every time there's like a segue, if they go off track a little bit and they don't set me up for my next question, I'm like, awesome. So anyway, or I do like, let's back up a little bit. Again, I've never interviewed anybody until this podcast, and I feel like I do a good job with it for the most part. I can work on my punctuation and the way I can slow down and not stutter as much, but I think I'm doing good. Let me know how I'm doing. But go to 20TIMminutes.com, submit a Q&A so I can answer it on the show. Buy me a coffee so you can rock with me live starting next week. It was going to be this week, but they deleted my account, so I had to redo it with the same username. Super fucking weird. Still got hats, t-shirts, the whole shebang. Just go to 20TIMminutes.com. You will find everything and anything there. My music suggestion is a great song. Linkin Park featuring Kiiara. I don't know. It's called Heavy. And I I always get bummed out because I loved Linkin Park in like middle school, and then when Chester Bennington committed suicide, that was like a huge bummer because no one ever knows. And then like he sings songs like this, and people are like, "Oh, that makes sense now." I'm not gonna like sing it, you can just listen to it, but I'm gonna read the lyrics. He goes, "I don't like my mind right now, stacking up problems that are so unnecessary. Wish that I could slow things down. I want to let go, but there's comfort in the panic, and I drive myself crazy, thinking everything's about me. Yeah, I drive myself crazy because I can't escape the gravity." Fucking song rocks, dude. I like that message. That's definitely Tim in the car looking out the window when that song's playing, reflecting my life. And then the movie, just because I saw it recently, it was The Girl Next Door with Elijah Cuthbert. She's got one of those names. Emile Hirsch and the great Timothy Olyphant. I fucking love Timothy Olyphant. Duff, you know what I'm talking about. He was like one of the best Conan O'Brien guests. He's just a stud. That guy fucking rocks. But The Girl Next Door, great movie. If you haven't seen it, I think it's on Netflix or it's on Hulu, or maybe it's on somewhere. Just Google that movie and Google where can I watch it. I thank you for rocking with me on episode 33. Shit, I should have worn my Larry Bird jersey. I wore my Eric Montross one. What a loser. Thank you for rocking with me, episode 33. Hopefully you had a good time with me today. Go do something good today. That's what I just asked. Or just come say hi to me or send me a question. Just send me a question. That's what I want you guys to do right now. Send me a goddamn question, okay? Or give me some feedback, or ask me a question, or don't, all right? All right. But either way, guys, I love you so much. Hopefully you guys know that. Tell somebody you love them. Go check up on somebody. Do something fun. Do something fun while the weather's here, because it's gonna feel like it's November any minute, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey guys, I've been on for a year," and they're gonna be like, "Whoa, it's crazy." Love you guys. Have a good one. This podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. If you are feeling suicidal, please dial 911.